So let me get this right. You made a team play a back-to-back that started with their opening night, including a banner raising, so that game started extremely late. And then you made them travel for the second half of the back-to-back, a significant distance too. They didn't get in until after 3 in the morning. And the team that they're playing not only is rested, it's their opening night, so they're hyped to play, and they're one of the teams considered a contender this year. I don't know how you really expected that game to go, but you kinda had to see this coming, right? Avs lose to the Calgary Flames 5-3.
Artturi Lehkonen! Colorado has won the Stanley Cup!
Look, the Avs got shelled in this game, and a significant portion of that is being the situation that the Avs were in. That being said, there was still a lot they could have done better. Tired or not, getting outshot 14-3 in the first period is a bad look. Despite that, in some ways, the first period was actually the Avs' best period of the game. It takes less than 100 seconds for the Avs to get on the board first. Not a ton to this goal, it's just a great individual effort. Taves feeds off to Byram. They play a little pitch and catch up the ice through the neutral zone. Byram takes it from the blue line and says, you know what, I'm going to do it myself. He cuts to the middle of the ice, does get poke checked, but continues to battle, continues to look for the puck, puts himself in an advantageous position. If the puck gets through, go to the net. The puck gets through, he finds it, battles through some legs, throws it on net, and somehow Markstrom just gets beat. That's not one that ends up on the highlight reel for being a super crisp, amazing play from Byram, but it's one where he got to the right area of the ice, outworked everyone, got a decent bounce, and finished. It's that type of stuff that has made the Avs so dangerous because they can get some of that from their defense. We've seen it from Kale, we've seen it from Taves, we've seen it from Gerard. Now we're starting to see it from Byram more, too. There's a reason I believe this is the best defense in the league. Even if they didn't show it on defense super well tonight, they can do things like that. And that was the last highlight of the game for the Avalanche, at least while it was still a game. They picked up a couple of garbage time goals, but that was really it from here. From that goal to about halfway through the second period, it was just complete domination from Calgary. In the first period, Pavel Francouz played great and kept the Avs in the game. But the Avs just never really capitalized on that, and eventually it fell apart. And the first goal against comes from the same mistake we saw the Avs make in Game 1. Standard entry, standard defense, nothing really scary here. The initial charge is well defended. Byram even gets a piece of the shot, so it's just not a dangerous play. And the puck goes to the far corner, and this is where we see the Avs problem crop up. Byram goes in. He's chasing the puck. He's staying with the man. He's playing the puck carrier here. And the puck gets knocked at. It's not cleanly possessed, so it's knocked in behind the net, and this is where the breakdown happens. As it goes in behind, Byram kind of loses his man, but is still floating after him. And then Manson also follows in behind the net. So now you have both your defenders in behind the net. There's no communication with the two. There's nothing going on here. You are not guarding anything, literally nothing. There is nothing being defended by both of your defensemen. That is very bad, and it's very easy to fix. Unfortunately, now that you're in the moment, it's already too late. Eventually, Byram realizes he's made a horrible mistake as Manson pushes through and decides to defend the puck carrier. Again, still too late. You try to get Newhook coming down to defend the area. That has been a terrible mistake, but the pass just comes through Newhook trying to play a little bit higher in the zone, and you can see the puck's already in the net. You just can't lose your positioning like that. I'm not worried about this now that the Avs have a couple of days off to practice. I'm sure it's a thing Bednar will emphasize, and they'll get it cleaned up. So it's not a big deal, just something that needs to be quickly fixed. And honestly, you feel okay at the end of the first period. It's a 1-1 hockey game. The Avs did not play well, but they escaped. Unfortunately, they just made a critical error at the start of the second period that kind of got Calgary going. Avs are the ones on the power play here. It's a weird puck that bounces up in the air and comes floating down, and Mikko just gets outworked here. He needs to be stronger. He needs to make a better effort to try and hold on to this puck. He just gets beat, and then he's behind the play. This is still okay. It should still be a 2-on-2 situation, but you get tied up here, and Newhook gets slapped by a stick and goes down. I think there's a pretty good argument that you could have called this a trip on Calgary. I don't want to get into reffing. We're just going to move on. They don't call it a trip. It ends up with a 2-on-1 in Calgary's favor, and they make it count. It's just really hard to win hockey games when you're giving up shorthanded goals, especially second half of back-to-backs, where usually it's the special teams that need to be good to squeak you by when you're that team trying to find a way to win there. Instead, Calgary just kind of keeps the domination up. Now, with 30 minutes left to play, the Avs did start to push back a little bit, but they just couldn't quite get that big goal. They had some opportunities, but failed to close on them, and then Calgary kind of shut the door. Where the Avs failed to capitalize on a chance, Calgary does to make it a 2-goal lead. An Avs power play is expiring, and they're getting some good opportunities on net here. You're going to see after one decent opportunity, a second one comes across to Erod. Now, this isn't really an error, but things don't go the Avs' way. They fully commit here. Makar is coming down in below the circles. Erod is winding up for the bomb. They're committing heavily. They're all in the circles or deeper in the zone, and Erod does not get a great shot off. He puts it into the first defenseman, so it doesn't even get deep into the zone, and ricochets out to a place where no Avs are able to get to it. This is a problem, and they're not really going to solve it by anyone running back and covering, which they still should have done, because in a different scenario, the Calgary could have had an odd man rush. But in this scenario, the PP literally just expired. Their man jumps out of the box, and it's a breakaway. Just unfortunate timing for Colorado on a play that didn't bounce their way. And this one, Frankie gets pretty roasted on. At that point, it felt like it was going to be tough, right? A 2-goal lead is very hard to come back from on a second half of a back-to-back. And then the third period happened, and the Avs kind of just fell apart at the start of it. Special teams once again lets them down with 2 more failed penalty kills. Sometimes you just know it's not your night. Calgary is moving the puck well here, but for the most part they're out on the perimeter. The Avs not really giving them anything dangerous. So when a puck comes across to the low circle for a tough angle shot, this is a shot attempt. Don't make any mistake. He's trying to shoot this, and he just doesn't get very much of it. It redirects and comes right out in front perfectly for Tyler Toffoli's stick to redirect it into the net. I mean, you just shrug your shoulders and go whatever on that one. This one, there's a more direct, pretty clear error. Again, Calgary working on the perimeter, but they are eventually going to try the seam pass here, looking for the play to the back post. And when that comes through, it's initially defended extremely well. Sedlak does it. He gets his stick on the puck. He prevents the danger from happening. He has done it. He stopped the play from being dangerous. He collects the puck and has time to assess his options. I know it's a tough spot. Somebody could be bearing down on him, but there isn't anyone bearing down on him. He panics, doesn't check before throwing the puck, and just tries to throw it to the corner. It's a weak, almost one-handed backhand, and it's right to Huberdeau's stick. That's disastrous. You might as well have just let the pass go through at that point. Huberdeau, very patient, waits, looks off, Sedlak even, and finds the open man for a wide open net, and Lindholm pretty much seals the deal there. The Makar penalty is kind of weird and silly and not super relevant because it was the first goal that really put this game out of reach. But still, you cannot be taking penalties when you're trailing late in games. You will not win if you do that. Funnily enough, after it was 5-1, the Avs have an almost immediate answer of a goal. Calgary dumps in a puck. Frankie just decides to play it himself. Plays the puck a lot, and he gets rewarded. This one sneaks all the way through to Nathan MacKinnon, and he's just off to the races. You already know. No one's catching Nathan MacKinnon. He is gone at this point, and he's able to put the beautiful finish on it, even if it is a garbage goal. Great to get MacKinnon on the board. Super dope that Frankie gets an assist. Goalie assists are always the best, but those goals always kind of stink because they're irrelevant, right? Had the Avs managed to kill even one of those 2 penalty kills that they had earlier in the period, that goal may have meant a lot more. Instead, it's meaningless. And then a bit later in the third, the Avs add a power play goal, so at least there's something to take on the positive side from special teams on this one. And this is just classic, simple, effective hockey. As the puck gets worked in deep, Val collects, they reset their entire power play, really running 4-on-4 here because MacKinnon blew up his stick and had to go to the bench to get a new one. But Val recognizes he's been given a lot of room. He's going to take advantage of that and use the space that he has before dropping to Mikko. Because he uses this space, he gets Zadorov to step up and commit to him as a puck carrier. So when he does drop the puck to Mikko, Zadorov's momentum is now carrying him away from where Nuke is headed. That allows Nuke to get a half step towards the middle of the ice. He finds the opening. It's a quick give and go play. Mikko's great at this from behind the net. He finds Val, and they finish it. That gets you to a 5-3 final. The game kind of wound down from there. I know shots look fairly even at the end of the game, but trust me, that's because Calgary completely backed off and said, we're just going to cruise to a victory with our lead. Look, this combination of things that led to this loss are all extremely unconcerning. Some very obvious mistakes that are easy to fix with a couple of practices and some notes from the coach. Second half of a back-to-back where the Avs are just a team out of gas. Calgary looking to make an impact in their season opener. Could the Avs have played better? Sure. Do you want more out of them? Sure. But does this loss have any significant impact going forward? No. Not in the slightest. Oh, right, I forgot. There was a good post of this game, so that's a thing, I guess. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. Head on over to thednvr.com for all of our coverage. I am Rudo, and all right, we got loss number 1 out of the way.
Avalanche time, come on, grab your friends. We're going to the playoffs again with Nate the dog and Gabe the big. The fun isn't over yet. It is Avalanche time.